Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants, and of course I am your host, your YouTube messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated superstar, Tim Vicious, and we are going to be talking about Raw this week. We are now 2 weeks out from the time of this recording till Night of Champions. So, kicked it off, Seth coming out. Yeah, but first and foremost, before we go into the show, let y'all know, the show was in Baltimore this week. Crowd was pretty okay, you know, nothing big, nothing fancy, nothing really to write home about, but yeah. Anyways, Seth came out, kicked off the show, talked about on how he thought it was unfair. He's got to go up against Cena and Sting. He still wants his statue, and that Sting wound up taking over the Teletron in the back, you know, like right there, and was like, "Hey, I have your statue. It's right here. Come and get it." Basically. And yeah, and then Sheamus came out saying, "You're mad that you got to do 2 matches. You may wind up having to do 3. And then was teasing him, talking about with the cash-in. And I don't know. Personally, I could dig Sheamus doing that cash-in like that. But only if it's going to pay off in the long run. You know, yeah, it's not just have him hold it until X amount of time and then drop it to some other dude. No. Have him have a decent, legit reign. That's what I'm thinking. You know? But, yeah. So, that was, well, that basically summed up, and I just saved all y'all about 15 minutes worth of watching the opening for Raw, right there. So, you're welcome. Now, on with the first match of the night. We're talking about Paige versus Sasha, this follow-up, because when they went to have the beat the clock, and I even mentioned this, it was basically like a cock tease, just saying, yeah, we're going to get a decent match in. Oh, now we're not. Okay. Well, damn. And now we do, so, it was really good, really hard-hitting. Yeah, it was pretty back and forth for a good bit. I definitely dug the hell out of this. You know, we need matches like this. If they want to do that whole quote-unquote Divas Revolution thing, honestly, what they're going to need, they need to have more random matches like this. You know, instead of just having, you know, like, random girl from Paige's group versus random girl from Bella group, or random girl from Sasha group versus random girl from Bella group, because they keep having the Bellas be involved in the same circle. No, don't do that. Just keep bouncing back and forth between the NXT girls, you know. Have the NXT girls bounce around back and forth for a minute, and then, you know, throw some Bellas in every now and again. You know, honestly, I think that would be the best thing. I'm been known to be wrong more times than not. Y'all disagree on that, by all means. Feel free to say something down below, or look for me on my Twitter, Tim Vicious. Say otherwise. But back to the match. This was a hell of a match. This match right here, it felt like a good old-fashioned NXT women's match right here. Now, I'm not talking about a takeover match. No, far from it. But a women's NXT match, like on the regular TV tapings kind of match. You know, it was a good fast pace. You know, I dug the hell out of this on that. You know, match wound up coming to an end when Paige went to go for the Scorpion Crosslock. You know, or whatever they call it, that PTO. Or PTA meeting, whatever. She went to go for that, and just as she's reeling for that, you know, just she's going for that. Naomi winds up pulling off a distraction on the ref, and then Sasha grabs a chunk of hair and rolls herself over. And the way she's rolled over, though, it looks like both shoulders, Sasha's and Paige's, are on the ground at the same time. Excuse me, at the same time. So that, you know, that just, I mean, yeah, they gave Sasha the win, but I don't know. Just sheer observation, that just felt kind of just felt kind of sloppy on my end, you know. But I still dug the shit out of this, and I wish we could get more kind of women's matches like this, you know. It just, aside from that, get more women on the roster itself, you know. Obviously, you know, they got to go through the NXT courses first before they'll go up onto the main. And, you know, I'm not talking about the girls that are already in NXT. I'm talking women on the indie scene that are there and could go on there, you know. Because, honestly, if some of these girls weren't already signed with ROH, GFW, or whoever else, you know, really think they would do good, you know. You get a girl like Christine Von Eerie, who just has that whole different look altogether, which, you know, wow, that would work. You know, obviously there's talk going around saying that they signed Kana about a week or two before NXT Brooklyn, you know. And, you know, aside from that, also, Cherry Bomb, Kimberly, you know, the list could go on, but save that for another day when I'm talking with when I want to talk shop with somebody on this. Moving on, next match, it was a tag match. It was the Ascension versus Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, and yeah, this was really pretty much just a straight up squash match. It was pretty much one-sided for Roman and Ambrose through the whole thing. I mean, probably the coolest aspect on this was the fact that they did the Doomsday device. And, you know, tag team mark, and like I said last week, favorite tag team of all time, hands down, Road Warriors, Legion of Doom, whatever you want to call them. No matter what, I give all respect to the world to the Dudleys for everything that they've accomplished, for winning 30-something world tag title reigns. My heart of hearts, though, you cannot beat the Road Warriors for the greatest tag team. You know, it was really good seeing that, especially, you know, when I was tag teaming. We tried doing that a couple of times. You know, we'd go and do that a couple of times. You know, I would go up to the top and next, you know, just do, and then go and do it, and then go and fly off. I would go and try and do my best Road Warriors impression. I never could. I sucked at it. But enough about with me. Moving on with the show. You know, yeah, the match came to an end. Roman wound up hitting the spear, got the 1, 2, 3. You know, then, you know, they're hyping up now who's going to be Roman and Dean's tag partner for the 6-man tag match coming up at Night of Champions. Yeah, no one really knows for sure. Yeah, there was some rumors saying that it was going to be Baron Corbin. Some think it might be Randy Orton. Personally, I think it would be cool if they had Samoa Joe, because I would just like to see Joe on the roster as soon as possible. But that's me. Yeah, but moving on. Next matchup, we got Ryroyd versus Seth. Now, what led to this match was Seth wound up confronting Stephanie in the back, talking about, "Do you see that crap? Do you see that crap that Sheamus was pulling off on me?" and all that jazz, you know. And then saying, "Well, where's Triple H? Where's Triple H?" And then Hunter just pretty much did like poof and poofed up right behind him, like, you know, to get you ready for Night of Champions, since you got to do 2 matches, you're going to be pulling double duty. We're going to give you double duty tonight. You're going to go up against another champion, the Intercontinental Champion, Ryback, and then you're going to team with the Tag Team Champions against the Primetime Players and Cena. And yeah, So I'll get to that when that match comes up, but for right now, talking about Ryroyd versus Seth, and yeah, I gotta tell you, for the first portion of the match, Seth was straight up very much like heel, like, you know, the second Ryroyd would go and try and hit him, the second Ryroyd would go and do something, Seth, boom, duck out of the ring. Duck out of the ring, get out of there. Just like, yeah, fuck this shit, I don't need it. Yeah. Yeah, come back in, Ryroyd go and do another powerhouse move, Seth roll out. Fuck this shit. You know? Yeah, it was pretty physical, I'll give it that. Now, I will give it that, but still though, it's... Yeah, I did not like on how this match wound up coming to an end. It was, you know, old Skippy wound up getting a roll up and just, ugh. Yeah. You know, and before this, they had Ryback doing a promo talking about on how he's gonna get ready to go and get Rollins, and yeah, they teased with Kevin Owens, hoping, and I mean, I am hoping dearly that they book a match with Kevin Owens versus Ryback at Night of Champions, and Owens just straight up wins it, because, you know, there have been a ton of great Intercontinental Champions. You know, a lot of them, though, have been Canadian. Bret Hart, you know, being one. Mountie, you know, who, by the way, the Mountie was the one that trained Kevin Owens. You know, just in case any of y'all didn't know that. You know, possibly one of probably the most current to date great Intercontinental Champions, Chris Jericho. You know, it's you know, Pat Patterson, the very first ever Intercontinental Champion as well. You know, point being, Canada's two greatest resources when it comes to wrestling, great technical wrestlers and incredibly hot women wrestlers. Those are pretty much Canada's two greatest exports, short from maple syrup. And now that I'm pretty much done showing my diplomacy skills so well that we would have gotten nuked by them if I was president. Hey, just be thankful, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. Trump could have wound up saying that. Then we would have wound up getting nuked from Eskimos. Moving along though. Next matchup wound up getting after that. Yeah, it's it. Or actually, I didn't bother to explain the rest in detail. I got caught up with doing that little ad lib right there. I'm sorry on that, folks. When Ryroyd wound up doing that roll up, before he got that, Sting came on the screen and distracted him. He's like, "Hey, Seth, your statue's right here." Boom, boom, and did literally just like that. And then he got like one of those little Sting masks like they used to have in like WCW and all. And then he put it over himself and then went over the statue. Boom, put it on him. And then that's what distracted Ryroyd to being able to get the roll up. So now that I got that part out of the way, moving along. Next matchup, it was Randy Orton versus Sheamus for what could possibly be. I think these guys have gone at it more times than Big Show has done a face or a heel turn, which, man, that, you know, that's saying something, because Big Show turns like I change socks, you know, and wow, ugh. But yeah, it's the guys, they do got good chemistry. It's just, seriously, we've seen this so many times already. It's just, oh God, stop it, stop it, stop it. You're killing us. You're killing us. You're killing the fun here. And possibly the biggest gripe that I had with this match was, while yes, the crowd was dead, and a silent crowd will speak more than a loud crowd any given day. You know, and I have been the victim of silent crowds more times than not, you know. And I am speaking from being a backyard guy, or what a lot of the guys in the actual biz tend to call a yard tard, you know. But that being aside, been the victim of silent crowds, and you know, trust me, it does play with your head. It does play with your head, and it does fuck with you. But biggest issue that I think I could say that I had with this, not so much with the silent crowd, because they were doing their job. They didn't like it. They spoke their part. They spoke their part by being mute. What got me was, while they had that awkward silence, JBL, Cole, and Saxton, they just had like this awkward moment talking. It was like somebody was talking, and I don't know if somebody was chewing in their ear saying, give like a 5 to 10 second pause between each other while you're talking, you know, or what, but it would be like this, you know, it'd be like this, JBL talking, JBL talking, JBL talking. Then Cole would come on and then say something. And then about 5 to 10 seconds later, then Saxton would come on. That's enough out of you now. I said, behave. That's better. Sometimes you have to put the foot, sometimes you gotta put your foot down and be a little assertive. But yeah, that was a big issue, and man, I could not, that really did annoy me on that part, because just like, seriously, you would figure you would want to have them, you know, chatting it up, being chachadons like crazy, you know, feed it, that way that way to at least attempt to cover up the silent crowd, you know, because if you got like a 10 or a 12-year-old that is hyper observant and picks up on the small things that most kids their age don't when they're watching this, and they see that, they're like, wow, they're not really doing a good job. Wonder why are they doing that? And then that can wind up, they're going to wind up eventually getting to where they have the sick, twisted, warped mind, just like this, and then next thing you know, go and complain and bitch about that. Yeah. Yeah, it was, yeah, aside from that, just really, like I said, they got good chemistry, but it's just, we've seen it so many times. The match was not very interesting at all whatsoever. You know, the biggest part that the crowd went for was right when the ref rang 3 for the RKO, and Randy got the win. Now, it should be noted, before the match started, they did show Randy talking to Roman and Dean, and then walk out. And then they went to commercial, and when they came back, then Randy came out to his music. And after the match, then the Wyatts came out and completely destroyed Randy, and pissed me off. Cole was saying that, you know, that kind of a beatdown was like something out of a horror movie. Dude, what the hell kind of horror movie you watching? 'Cause seriously? Dude, I grew up on horror movies. I was that sick, twisted kid that would sit in front of the TV eating Fruit Loops, waiting for 12 o'clock, waiting for it to be 12 o'clock to watch the cheap 1960 horror flicks on Saturdays. You know? Trust me, I've seen all kinds of horror movies. That was nothing like from a horror movie. Now that I'm done bitching about with that, next matchup, it was another squash match. It was the Dudleys versus the Matadors. Now this was a straight up squash match, you know. The Matadors, they got like 2 or 3 moves in, and then after that, the Dudleys just pretty much took over and owned everything, you know. And, you know, but this squash match did not come without opportunity, you know, because much like my Savior one, Mr. Paulie dangerously has said before, where there is chaos, there is opportunity. And with this, and within the chaos of a squash match, within that chaos of the squash match, Torito wound up climbing up, was trying to yell at one of the Matadors, and then eventually just slapped him, and then just Well, and then knocked him down, and then they got the 3D and got the 1, 2, 3, and that, you know, and then after that, the Matadors proceeded to start beating the crap out of El Torito. So hopefully this means that they're going to wind up either ditching the Matadors and just bring them back as Primo and Epico, because again, seriously, whoever heard of a Puerto Rican bullfighter? Or, you know, it's going to add another dimension to them, and they're going to be heel, and then they can wind up actually doing something half decent, you know. And, yeah, or 3, which I am personally hoping for more than anything, El Torito winds up leaving them, goes into singles competition, and then calls out Hornswoggle for a WLC round 2. Actually, you know what? I'm hoping for that to happen at WrestleMania, because that would just be the ultimate match right there. Having a WLC 2 at WrestleMania 32. Oh my, and have the little tiny tables again. That would just be great. Yeah. But yeah, as the Matadors were proceeding to stomp the shit out of Torito, Dudley's came back down, slapped the piss out of him, then prepped a table and powerbombed one of them through it. So that's that. Now moving on though, moving on to the next match, it was Cesaro versus Miz, and yeah, this one wasn't really much to call on, and just to be honest, there really wasn't much to call on really any of the matches tonight, because, you know, all the matches pretty much went really quick, and just, yeah, I just can't figure it out, you know. You got a 3-hour show. Why are you going to wind up, why are you going to give us like 2 or 5 minute matches? Just, it makes 0 sense on that part to me. Sorry. Throat's been a little messed up for the past day or two. But yeah, this really wasn't much to call on with that, because, you know, I mean, the biggest thing was Cesaro picked up JBL's hat and then did one of his running uppercuts to Miz outside wearing it. You know, after that, Miz knocked down Cesaro, and then Big Show walked down and proceeded to chase Miz around the ring, and then Miz hopped the fence, and then the ref did a double count out. And then, yeah, after that, Show just walked on back. As he's walking back, so Cesaro gave him the knockout punch. So yeah, by all means, Big Show. That's definitely the one thing we all wanted you to do. We wanted you to interrupt the Cesaro match, you know, because heaven forbid that, you know, we've ever seen a bad Cesaro match before, right? Right? No? No? No, we haven't? Oh. Well, I'm trying to think. What would be the appropriate response to say to that? It'll come to me. But yeah. Moving along, yeah, it's next matchup, main event of the night, Cena and the Primetime Players versus New Day and Seth. Now, New Day, oh my god, the best part of this match, hands down, was Woods ringside with the trombone, just playing the trombone the whole time while New Day and Seth were proceeding to do the kicking end of an ass kicking onto Cena. Now, do want to say on this, as far as on how this match goes, biggest gripe with it was they had Cena in there, mostly in there, taking the ass beating. Titus was in there for a bit. Darren wasn't tagged in at all. He had one spot, and that was it. He hit his gut check, and he hit the gut check on Woods at one point. That was it. Other than that, though, just no. I mean, why did they? It made no sense. Aside from that, you know, just, I was honestly, what I think would have been, yeah, what we would have I mean, it was just, bleh. Thinking faster than I'm speaking again. Fuck. Sorry, folks. It was just, yeah, they could have done a lot more with this match, you know, especially since with this match you had the new guys and you had to have the new guys get over, but They had Cena get the win, and okay, I understand Cena needed the win to come off strong, to look strong going into the pay-per-view, but dude, seriously, they could have done something different with on how they did it, you know? You know, just, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad it wasn't Seth that got the pin, that took the pin, because they had Kofi take an AA and get the pin, but, you know, they could have had, like, Darren go and hit that spine buster of his, and then Cena just go and pick someone up, you know, or do something like that to build with it. But yeah, that's on how that match went. After that, you know, Seth was in the ring beside himself, like, how the fuck did I lose 2 matches in one night? Shit, Hunter is gonna kick my ass worse than when Vince saw those nude pics of me. Vince found out that I had those nude pics. And then, boom, you hear the crow call, and then you see Sting on the Tron again. He's like, Seth, what's going on? You never came back here for it. Well, since you're not going to come back here, I got something to show you. Lights, and then you see lights, and there's a garbage truck behind Seth's statue. And he says, Apple Valley Disposal. Ooh. And then tells him to start the truck up, and then he pushes the statue in. And as you see, dude, again, hyper observant, sees small little shit most people don't. Dude, that was okay, it was fairly obvious, but you could hear from hearing the crunch, but you could see the chunks of the plastic, like the white shelling on the inside of it. I was dying laughing seeing that, just like, oh shit, they really didn't bother to spend much money on that statue. They just got like a cheap little plastic statue with some bronze paint on it. Damn! Talk about fucked up, man. You know, they could have at least just done one and be like, hey, Seth, look, seriously, we'll give you a real one, that way you can put it in your wrestling school, but we're going to make this one just so that way we can go and fuck it up. They could have done something like that, but damn. But yeah, that's it for this week's show, folks. Excuse me. That's it for this week's show, folks. So, like on normal, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch all the other episodes. Look for me on Twitter at TimVicious. Make sure you also check out my backup account, Tim_Vicious. Also, do not forget to look for the music that's been provided here, courtesy of my executive producer, Mr. Oliver Ben. The music's on iTunes, Spotify, Xbox. He's also now setting up shirts, because I always say life is good when you're a Tim Vicious guy or gal. You talk to my executive producer, Mr. Ollie Ben. He'll help set you up with your own Tim Vicious guy or gal shirt. Also, folks, do not forget to follow all of these cool ass cats right here on Twitter. Ms. Vicky Earls. I am Danny Sunday. Make sure y'all check out Danny on the See It or Skip It show. Axel Mulligan. Make sure y'all check out Axel's new project, History of Pro Wrestling. Sunday Segway, Simply Sabrina, Cranky Grandpa, Legion Lady Aaron, my executive producer, Mr. Oliver Ben, Just a Stupid Mark. Make sure you also check out Ollie Ben's and Mask Mark's or War Paint and Mask show, I should say. There's my botch of the night. As well as my client, who, as I have said before, is the true Raw General Manager, Bronx Bitch Forever. And, folks, like I always tell ya, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck yous.